This is the practice for a sore low back. And I'm going to use a prop. I rarely do, but I'm going to use a belt. You could use a pair of pants, use a towel, anything long enough to wrap around your foot. Take a deep breath in and bring your right leg across in a seated spinal twist. Left arm stretches up and hugs the leg as you gently twist over your right shoulder. Breathing in, sitting taller, and exhaling and twisting. Twists help relieve spinal tension, so bring your fingertips back behind you, facing your buttocks. We'll do a little boat pose. You can always bring your toes down, but using your arms for support, maybe you can lift those legs 90 degrees and really work on using your abs to support your back. Make your neck free and then come back to the left leg across the top in a seated spinal twist. So our opposite right arm stretches up, hugs the leg, and look back over your left shoulder. Breathing in, sitting tall, and exhaling and twisting. Bring the hands back behind you. Legs out for boat. You roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, long neck, but not a tight neck. Try to keep the whole body relaxed, but the abs working to support the spine. So lift from the belly. Good, and let's roll over onto our hands and our knees for a few cat-cows. Hands flat. Inhale in an arch and then exhale and round the spine. We want to get as much articulation in the vertebrae as possible. So inhale and arch. Exhale and round. Releasing the neck, the chest, the hips, arch. And exhale in. Scared cat back. Sit back into child's pose. Stretch the arms out long. And relax. We're going to roll up in a camel. This is what a camel looks like with a sore back. Lift the front of the body, the hip flexors, and stretch up. Don't think of leaning back, but lifting up and stretching the front of that body. As we come down, let's bring the right foot in between the hands, wiggle the hips. We're going to lean forward to stretch that left hip flexor and then pull the hips back to get the right hammies. Lean forward, big breath in, and then exhale back. So we're working accessory muscles around the hips. Inhaling forward, muscles that tend to be tight when we have back pain. Exhale back, inhale forward. Bring the hands down and both knees together and give it a little wiggle back in child's pose. We'll repeat that on the other side. Roll up. You can use your hands on the front of the thighs. Lift up in that camel. Big breath in as you exhale. Just let the neck be free. And then as you come forward, walk the hands out. Left foot this time in between the hands. Wiggle the hips, and then we're going to inhale, leaning forward, right hip flexor stretch. Exhale, pull the hips back, back of the leg on the left stretch, and gently rocking to your tension, not your pain, but just go to the point of tension and give it a little massage. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. This is why in sciatica we tend to get leg pain. It's all connected. Bring the hands down and step the knees together. Pull back into a little child's pose just for a moment. And then look between the hands and glide forward onto the belly. Give your legs a little wiggle. Rock the hips back and forth and bring the elbows to forearms and wrists down in a sphinx pose. Lift the chest and shoulders and make a long neck, not a tight neck, but long. Gently drag the body forward and make sure that your buttocks is not clenching. Try to keep it loose. And inhale and lift. You don't want back pain. We just want a light stretch, so it doesn't have to be too high. Come all the way down, bring the hands by the chest, and then lift up, little cobra, bend the knees when you need to, tuck the toes under, and lift up into downward dog. Now you can bend the legs the entire time in down dog. Lift up to the toes, bend the legs, just try to get those hips really high, and stretch one heel down towards the floor at a time. Bending one leg, stretching the other, until you're walking forward into a forward fold. Now with a sore low back, you want to take your forward fold with really bent legs. So drop the hips, bend the legs. To come up, bring your hands to your thighs and push with the legs to come up. Good. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Then exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Interlace your fingers. Send your first fingers high and stretch up and over to the right. Gently up and over to the left. Don't think of going back, but think of lifting the front of the body up towards the ceiling, and then bend the legs, pull the hips back, keep squishing the body down. Bring the hands to the thighs if you need to, or straight to the floor, and step the right foot back. Nice lunge. Then lift the hips. This will be another stretch where we just juicily bend forward and lift the hips up and back to your point of tension. Bend forward. Again, these accessory muscles around the back get really tight. Bend forward. Press the hands down and tuck that right leg into a seated spinal twist. We'll come back to this to see if we can lift that right arm. Oh, I'm sorry. Left leg is up and over. Right arm is hugging, whichever way. We'll do the opposite in this second. Bring your hands towards the front of the mat and lift your body up to stand. Bend deeply, bring the hands to the thighs and lift up. We'll reverse all of that. So big breath in, stretch the arms up, bring the hands into prayer. Interlace them the funky way if you like. First fingers stretch up and over to the left. And then big breath in as you reach up and over to the right. Gentle curves, gentle articulation of the spine. Big breath in to lift the front of the body up, and then bend the legs, pull the hips back, back, back into a deep squat. Hands can be on the thighs. Bring the hands to the floor if you can and step the left leg back. We're going to take those same lunges and lifts. When you're ready, inhale, lift the hips up and back as high as you can, and then exhale, bend. Gently rock up and back, bending forward. And again, lift the hips as high as you can. Bend forward. Bring the hands down and tuck your left leg under, right leg over the top into seated spinal twist, or the other leg than you did before. Opposite arm as leg reaches around and hugs the leg, and then you twist looking over your right shoulder. All of these twists will release any tension we might have built in those lunges. For your back, you want to come out of a twist with your hands on the floor, leaning the opposite way, bringing a little weight into the hands until you're on your feet. Bend the legs, hands on the thighs, and press those legs up. Lift the arms, big breath in as you stretch your posture and your spine, and then sit way deep into chair pose or fierce pose. This is a really fierce position. Let's make it gentle. Come all the way down and just round over the body until you can get those sits bones down to sit. In a boat pose again, you can stretch your arms out forward or bring them back like we did in the beginning to support your legs. Keep lifting in a V shape. You're really working the abs. If you want more, stretch your legs straight. And then rock down to your forearms. You can always keep the legs bent here at 90 degrees if that feels better on the back. But long neck, long chest, long legs. If you really want to stretch them, and then release and give your legs a hug. We are going to do a delicious stretch with that belt or a pair of pants if you want to bring the inseam to your foot, or a towel draped over your foot. So let's start with a flat back, the right foot in the center of the belt or the inseam of pants or whatever you have handy. Stretch the left leg long like you're standing on it. We're working posture here, this left hip flexor. Start stretching the right toes towards you and the knee away from you as much as you can. Take the belt into your right hand, left hand on your hip. Keep that hip down. That's the most important as you open the right leg to the side. Really work on the posture, not how high your leg is. Keep that left hip grounded as you bring the leg back up. Switch hands and tip all the way over to your left. So you will tip to the side of your body and twist looking back to the right. If it's too much, just keep your hand on your hip and look at the same direction as your foot. Use your belly button to pull the back to the mat and round up. Keep using your belly, not your neck. Release the belt, release the top of the body. Stretch that foot in a point and stretch, full muscle power, reaching the leg away until it relaxes on the floor. One leg should feel completely different than the other, the entire side of the body. So let's get even. Bring those feet in. Grab your belt. Left leg in the belt, the towel, the pants, whatever you have. You can bend the leg, that's absolutely fine. Remember, we're working on posture, so stretch the right heel away. Long body, toes flexed towards you. Stretch that left leg up and try to release your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Drawing it as close as you can to you. Right hand on your hip, left hand opens the leg to the side. Just try not to fall off of that right buttocks and that right hip. It stays grounded here. We're sort of realigning all the leg muscles. Bring that leg back up, switch it to the right hand and twist. Oop, I'm gonna hit the wall. All the way over, tipping over on the body. And if you can, looking out to the left, or keep your hand right next to the hip if that's just a little too much of a twist. Keep that right leg like posture. Bring the belly button in to bring the leg back, round up. Keep your neck free. Try to do this with your abdomen. Release the belt, release the upper body, point the toes and stretch strong leg, reach it away towards the floor, and you did it. Your body should feel completely different. Let's take a little wiggle to make sure that we can rest in Shavasana nice and even. Release the fingers, the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the legs. Big breath in. Exhale, release the back, the arms, the fingers, the hands. Feel this new energy reach into the body and bend the knees into the chest. Let the legs gently fall over towards your right. Use the weight of your left leg to help you come up and use your hands to bring the body up to sit. Let's take this tiny meditation as gentle as possible. So just sit tall. Bring the hands to the heart center as gently as you can, and gently bow the head forward. Namaste.